and I will share my screen. And Josh, we kind of talked about this a little bit
Oh, yeah.
a couple days ago. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we got it up.
All right, sweet. So, okay, so in this project, it's basically kind of a presentation app. There's going to be somebody behind a desk at a computer clicking prompts, and then on the other side of that desk, there will be a customer, and they will be watching another screen of the presentation. So basically, we'll just say like a finance manager would prompt this up, and he'd enter, a name or whatever it would be, save it, and then be able to click these prompts to go through a slideshow that would happen on this other page. So my question is one, is it possible? And two, how would I even go about doing that, triggering the things on each pages?
Yeah, it's totally possible, and it's pretty cool. That'd be a cool use case. The way to do it is with data listeners. So are you familiar with them right now?
I mean, not really. It'd be a good thing to brush up on, though.
Yeah. I mean, what they are is like in a basic level is it's a thing that will allow you to run a flow anywhere your site's open if something in the data changes. And so you can basically get pretty creative with that. Like in your scenario, you would just need to trigger some change in the database. And then on the app that the customer is watching, when that data changes, the data listener will hear it and then run a flow.
And that'll happen live.
And it happens live. Yeah. It's like you can, I don't know what a good example is. Like we use it in the studio, or, the perfect example is like the preview when you're live viewing your thing.
That's exactly what I was
data
thinking.
Listeners. Yeah.
Okay. So for this name, I would just add as soon as this event is clicked, it's a data listener on this page, or
the data listener would be on the customer page.
Okay.
And what you're telling the data listener, so actually you can do this while we're talking. It's on the 3-dot menu of the page name on the top left.
Drew, before we jump in one thing I want to add real quick, Spaceman, this does require the use of the data collections.
Okay.
Like we had talked about in DM. So that's the only context I want to go into, but go ahead and take over, Drew.
Cool.
Yeah. And if you're not using builder data collections for an app and you want to use data listeners in this way, it's actually, you would just create a builder collection just for this. You can use it in a way where it's like, doesn't even have to be part of your app. It just triggers these things. So that's okay either way. And so sometimes you don't need that. Sometimes your data is already being changed. So yeah, on that 3-dot, if you click it, you can go to page properties. And that's where data listeners are. So it's that purple tab. What you do is you select a collection to listen to. You can click that if you want. I mean, we won't have the collection set up, but first you set a flow to run, and then right under that you set a collection to listen to. And that's kind of the setup. So you'll create a flow that's going to run, and that flow in your case might be like a condition that's going to show them one video or another, or you might have like 5 different flows for 5 different videos that it's going to show them, and then you'd make 5 data listeners. So you can approach it different ways, but essentially some flow is going to run when some data is changed. And so you set the flow, and then the step 2 would be in the data. You can just create a table and fire, change something in it.
So at each flow, every time you click that button, it's showing, hiding, all that good stuff. So
it's doing, whatever you want it to do, whatever's in that flow. So it's just going to run a flow. The data listener itself is like actually pretty simple. It's just saying, did data change in this collection? And there's a field where you can limit it. So you can get more specific, but you don't even have to. Say, did data change? Run a flow. And that flow can show the right video or even do more,
Do I put that under a page binding?
It would just be like a new flow. So if you can click off here, actually, I can show you where to put it. So you're on this presentation page. And if you go to flows on the left, just hit new flow right there. And you can say, so like, do you want to do it something where I saw there are like 5 buttons. Is it like if they click each one of those buttons, a different video shows or something?
Different slide, different video. Yeah.
The slider and video. So in that case, like what I might do is have 5 different flows, 1 for each video. So you might call it, like show video 1 or show slide 1 or whatever, show 1. And then you don't have to do anything else with that flow. Like you don't have to call it from anywhere else except in the data listener. And then that's when it'll run.
Okay. So then we go here.
That would work.
One thing to mention, I think the reason that you see so frequently page binding as the flow that runs for data listeners, like I feel like almost every demo we have, page binding is the flow that's going to run. That's because typically people are wanting to reset the data in that was bound via all the purple page bindings for data on the page. And so that page binding function runs, and that's what people usually want. But what Drew's having you do here, it makes sense, is you actually want potentially a bunch of different things to happen. And so you have a dedicated flow just for like the different types of things that you want to occur.
Yeah. I mean, it's really an interesting idea that was even brought up to me. So I was like, well, if I can do it in Builder, I'm sure. What did I just do that? Make that. I called it mock customers. Okay. So
you can leave that limiter blank if you want for now, or
Okay.
if you wanted, you can control like only a certain field gets updated, it'll trigger that kind of thing. But I usually just leave it blank at first anyway.
Okay.
So that's like any change in that collection. That's what blank means.
Okay. So I have that data listener set up on this page now.
So yeah, so now that you have that, you can like add a record into that collection, or if you have a record in it, you can modify it. It doesn't, that's kind of up to you. But when they click those buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Mhm. Add a, yeah. Like add a record.
mhm.
Yeah, and you can do it all with just one record. Like,
It might be smarter actually.
Or-
It's all one record. It'll save you on data. You know what I mean? It's like
Mhm.
you can manually put a record in there and then just edit it.
have
Okay.
a status, and every time they click one of those buttons, all you're doing is updating the value in that status field. And then the flow on the presentation page, you're actually just running through a switch that, based on whatever status is met,
Uh-huh.
then runs the specific show 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Okay. I think I understand that. All right. So we would just say the name would be like inner name. Then it would be a new record at that point. Now what?
So now like it would work. This isn't the stuff that Dorian just suggested, but if you did this now, when you click that button for save, or I guess when you save the customer name, it's gonna run the flow show 1 on the customer page. It's not exactly what you want yet. Like that's not the exact outcome you want, but it's like it is set up and connected now to work.
Okay, so I'd have to get this from the field then, I'm assuming.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a little different than what I was expecting, but yeah, like if you wanted to display their name like that, that's what you would do. And you would have to
Well, yeah, because my thinking is like first, like a customer walks in their office and they're gonna be like a welcome screen, right? And then they're gonna prompt the presentation as they go along.
Yep. So I would say do what you did here. You create the new record and then do what Dorian said, and that record will have their name and a status, which is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you might have to take it even further, like to target that specific record. You might have to use dynamic data in the URL so that the link includes the specific record.
Okay.
Oh yeah, unless you can maybe always use the most recent or something, because basically, yeah, like the page isn't going to know which customer is looking at it. But I assume maybe you're doing this one at a time only.
I'm curious if this is like a situation where is there like a monitor that they would have like?
Yeah, they're gonna have the customer's gonna have a monitor facing them.
So it's almost like, correct, Drew and Dorian, you guys might know better than I, but I'd almost have a record that's actually the monitor record, because then that monitor would always go to that URL, and then it would just be updating that particular record for that monitor with the customer data.
Yeah, like if it's always just the one.
If it's always one at a time, that works. So
Yeah.
I don't know if that.
Yeah, it'll always be one customer at a time.
All right. So yeah. So should we just set it up? We can set that up pretty quickly.
Okay.
If you go back to your data, the data collection, and there was that I already forgot what it's called. Yeah,
Podcast, yeah.
mock cust. In here, you want to add a new field called, you have name in there. So you just want to add a new field called like status, I guess, or whatever you want to call that 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Oh, okay, I'll just say 1 just for right now. Do I need to change
Well,
this one?
I was gonna set it to like I was basically in you could do it a different way too, but the value of it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
So is that
No.
all right there? Status 1?
Well, the field's going to be for all the statuses. It's just to trigger the data listener as the user clicks the 5 different
Oh, I
buttons.
see. I see.
So it's your show one, huh? Isn't it?
Show would work,
Show.
yeah. Or like,
Okay.
call it step, like it's up to you kind of in that way. It's hard to say, but yeah, that works.
I like step. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, does this have to change?
No.
No, a little secret too is those actually, I mean, they help you, but they don't actually matter. Like I never even change that from single line when I build. I just keep it always single line.
Okay.
So yeah, so that's pretty much what you want there. And then what we're gonna do is see that ID field.
Oops, my bad.
No worries. Just copy the value of that ID field like the actual value that's in the row. Not that.
I see. Okay. Got it. Gotcha. Okay.
Because basically now you can reference, like you'll never add a new row now into that. You know what I'm saying? Like every time that they edit that customer name in the field, instead of adding a new record, you're going to update that record with the ID you just copied.
Perfect. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Okay. All right. Now, what next?
So now, before we forget, I would go to that flow that saves the customer name back on the other page, because right now it adds a new record. Let's switch that right now to have it update that record. It would be, you got to go to the other page first.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I forget what the flow is called, but it's like save customer name, maybe.
I don't think I created one on this page. I thought I created it on this page.
I think you created on the other page originally because the one I'm looking for is when you save the customer name, not the one that's going to run on the data listener yet.
So save customer. Oh yeah. Okay. Save customer.
See that last record? You actually want to remove that. We use that. You created the record with that, but now we're not going to create new records. We're just going to edit the existing. So add an action for update record. Yep. And the collections at mock cust. And then the first field do ID. This is so we can tell it which record to update and paste in that value that you copied. So now it's like it knows it's going to always update that one record. And now you can click map a field again.
Whoops, my bad. Map a field. Okay.
And do name and get it from the email, the name input. Yeah, from element value. So now you're good to go there. And the other thing you'll want to do is when they click 1, 2, or 3, or 4, you're going to run a flow on each of those that updates that record, but updates the step field. So you can do that now if you want.
So when they click this.
That would be actually update step. And you can say update step 1, because this is going to be a flow specifically to update the step to 1. Yeah. And you do update record. And you're gonna have to do that same thing with the ID first. You're gonna basically always do that with this ID because you're always manually updating this one record. And then map a field now for a step. And in this case, you just type 1. So now you have the name will update when you change the name or say however you save it when you click that button. And then when you click the 1, it's going to update the step to 1.
Okay, so should I have actually put this action on this little button? Because that's actually kind of what's saving it. You know what I mean? The 1 is really starting the slideshow.
So is it like live? Like if you click 1, you want it to update the slideshow live to be 1?
Yeah, that would like start the presentation. Like in general, like before, like when the customer comes in, you know, it's going to have their name on here, and that the finance manager will have their name already inputted from here, right? And then go over a few things, and then start the presentation. Hit 1, hit 2, and go on from there.
That's what
You're
you're
set
doing.
up correctly then.
You're good.
Okay.
Because first you do the name, it'll update, you know, and then separately, when they click the one, it's going to run the data listener and update the presentation.
Okay. So am I good?
Yeah, you're good on that page. So now for this next page,
Gotcha.
there's a couple things. So you'll probably, so what Dorian suggested was like running a condition to set the steps. I think we should do that, but I guess my question would be, do you want to run a separate thing for updating the name? Probably, right, Dorian? Just like have two different data listeners.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we can do the name first then. So if you go to flows, just create a flow that will update the name.
I think for that one, he can just use the binding, right? Because he already has it bound anyways.
Can use, oh, if you set it, yeah, as long as you can filter that specific record. Yeah, yeah. Either way, though, I mean, it's up to you.
Well, the flow is more control though. That way the record's correctly filtered just to make sure. And it doesn't require the dynamic data.
So is this good?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same in the end, I think. This is probably how I would do it, actually.
Okay.
Just-
I mean, I'm just trying to flow. Okay.
Builder's hard because there's so many ways to do everything. It's just like hard to
Right.
say. Yeah. All right. So this, what we're gonna do is element set value on the action, add action element set value. And your element, you're gonna choose that customer name there. And then the value, instead of from text, go from data collection. Yep. And then you can set for fields, select the name field. And then we're going to add a filter. And that's where we're going to filter by that ID. So do add filter. Yep, ID there, and then paste that ID if you still got it on your clipboard. Perfect. And then the last step to make it output like just the customer name instead of outputting it like JSON is at the bottom where it says data format JSON array. Change that to comma separated. And there's only one field, so there won't actually be a comma. It's just going to output just that field name. It's going to set it into the value of customer name. And then, so that flows good. And then now create a data collection for that. I mean, sorry, a data listener for that flow. Which is page properties, yeah.
Yeah, that little like sonar almost icon at the top of the page. If you click that, it'll also jump to it.
The what? All the
Uh,
time.
Just
Data
that guy.
icon. Yeah.
That means there's listeners on that page.
Good to know. I'm still trying to figure out where you guys put everything. So
Yeah, the more you know. We're trying to figure it out too.
Yeah, select update name. And the collection would be that mock cust. And here, if you want, you can limit it to that field. It's probably, I mean, it's like a little smarter, I guess. So do only certain fields. Kind of weird here. You have to create it and then we select the field after. So create. And now see the, yep.
Drew, that's your job. You gotta change that.
I know. Just the little quirks. That's good for that. And the other one, if you want, so do you want to test this now or do you want to just keep going?
I mean, we could test it. Why not? So let's go.
We're
You'll probably
we have
need
like
to refresh
6
the
other
other
things left.
because it doesn't have the listener yet. Yeah.
Yeah, just refresh the pages because
Yeah. And sometimes
listeners
I've
don't do it.
found that you have to do like a hard reload, or it's like the WebSocket doesn't get added.
yeah,
Uh,
hard reload.
you mean a hard reload?
Not on this page, but this
The
yeah.
listener page.
If you can just open the dev tools and you just click and hold the refresh.
Oh,
Under what is it? More tools. And then developer tools. And then on the left side, just click and hold the refresh icon, and it's gonna give you a menu.
hard reload.
And do the last one. Just to make sure. And you can close the dev tools now. Okay, now we can try it.
Okay. See, I wonder if it was the one. No.
We might have to like deep. I mean, that should work. It might be like something tricky in there.
Do I have to hard reload this one?
No,
No.
because that's just saving to the database.
The way listeners
We
work,
should confirm in the network that the save is actually going through correctly.
So if you
Or
open,
we can go to the data collections in the studio and make sure it updated
yeah.
by
Just type
easier.
your name in there. Oh, looks like it didn't save.
Yeah, no, it saved May. Sure did.
Oh, is that what you wrote?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd have to see. Like we'd have to debug the.
Yeah, it might be something we have to like take to debug later, but like this is the right direction. Like this is
Okay.
generally correct and should be
Sweet.
working.
This
Yeah.
gives me a great start. I mean, I still got some designing to do, so I'll do that and I'll let somebody else jump on. And I appreciate your guys' help.
Cool, yeah.
thanks, Spaceman. It's a fun example to go through. I like the
Yeah,
application there too.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. See you guys.
All right, let's go to the next one. We have Anne. Anne has 2 questions.
Yes, actually, I would just ask one today because I think there's a lot of people. So this one should be really easy. It's about getting the system message to work from this page. That it should pop on that page, and it's still like it should be really easy, but for some reason it's not working. So I'm not sure what I'm missing. On this profile page, I have the flow. And maybe this is wrong because this is not showing. Like when I click this and then go back later, it's like it doesn't save. So, and I don't see like a root page here. I only see current page. So I wonder what I'm doing wrong here.
Are you following, Drew? Like I'm not.
Oh,
still not
sorry,
sure
let me,
what's
I
supposed
didn't
to
explain
happen.
it too well. I'm sorry. So
Like, what's
for
the end
example,
result?
going
Yeah.
back to the clear image example, I'm sorry. If I click on this and it should clear the uploaded image, and then there should be a success message.
Yeah.
And then it should set the variable, its current page, right? And then it should have the message and then it should have show, but this page is called onboarding. So that's why I set it there, but I don't know if that's the correct one.
Oh, I see. So
It's
Yeah.
coming from element value, I think, right, Dorian? That's the issue.
yeah, because it's targeting. Essentially, you need to move this whole system message show flows to the page where those elements exist. And the
Like
only thing
here?
you're doing on the other page is using an action called run flow on page, which allows you to select a different page and a flow to run there.
So I should move all the like show message, hi message, everything to this onboarding page.
Yeah, because that system message that's above there, that's on the onboarding page, right?
Then how can I, sorry, you were saying when I click on this.
Yeah.
If I click on this, I should use the run flow.
Yeah, like open
Action.
this, click on that one. And that first variable we want to keep, except we will target the root. I'm assuming the onboarding is the root page. Yeah. So that will put the variable in the root. And then this action here, the system message, that one we can remove from here. And instead, we're just going to use the run flow on page.
We can delete this here.
No. You want to keep the variable.
Oh, okay. So delete this one.
Yeah, you can remove that group and instead search for the run flow on page. It should be under the other category.
This
Yep,
one.
right there. Yeah. And then make sure to put a wait because we want to ensure that the variable gets set before it even attempts to run that. And then now we'll select that onboarding. And I don't know if you have the flow already over there.
No, I don't have it, but
Yeah,
I
so-
can't do that. Yeah.
But you can copy if you go to the left and click on system message show. Before you copy it, can you click on it and see what that does?
Okay.
What's in the timer?
Hiding it.
Oh, I see.
Makes
Just
sense. I
to
think you're gonna
hide
have
it.
to copy all of these flows over, and what
Yeah.
we're essentially doing is having all those flows and right before them set the message from the root variable that you just set.
Yeah.
That's like the idea.
So,
I think one important thing to make sure, system message is actually its own page on top of this. It's actually not on like that little page that you have, system message above this.
I
Is that
think,
its
I
own
think it's just
It's
pushed
the
up.
onboarding.
It's on the
It's
onboarding
just
page.
shifted up.
It's just shifted up. Okay, gotcha.
And you can, if you copy that system message, that dash show, it should bring everything all the way downstream.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it'll paste all the nested.
Yeah. So yeah, click that and then do copy this flow. Yeah, go
paste it
here.
here.
Yeah, go there and then paste that. And it should bring, yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so the only things we need to change are the elements there. So instead, change that to current. So now we're on the current page.
That's
And-
actually from element value. That's the wrong input type too. So they have to go.
Oh, yeah.
input
Yeah,
type
yeah.
itself. Not there, but on where you were, where it says element.
Good catch.
where?
Right there.
Here.
You
You
see that
see
from
the-
element value in the top?
Top right. Down.
Where?
It's the one that shows up when
It
you
hides
mouse
when you
over.
when you mouse off. That's why it's confusing.
A little bit lower.
Lower.
Oh my
Like,
god, here?
Yeah,
Okay,
that
okay,
just popped up.
sorry.
And then go to elements. It should be under structure. There you go.
Tricky. It's like a common.
And then
Yeah.
I choose
And
the
then
div,
system
right?
message. No, because you want it in the message, right? The actual value. Yeah. And then this, change that to be, instead of currents, change that to root. So that's where we're setting it, which essentially should be the same, but just to make sure. You don't need that trigger. You can toggle that off. And then show me the next step 2 in here. Yeah.
And then change this to current page,
Yeah.
right?
That's
Or
actually
no, it'll be the
big
same.
Oh,
the same,
I
yeah.
gotta change the element.
Yeah.
That other one, you're getting the value out of the element, not the element itself. This one, you're getting the element itself.
Okay, and then the timer should be the same. It should be connected. So let's go to the system message hide. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then change that also to elements instead.
Oh,
Yeah, I think maybe that's why it didn't work from the
Yeah.
other side, because it actually is expecting an ID, not a value.
Oh, okay. Oh. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think everything should work. So
so
if you want to test it. Oh,
so-
yeah, go do the run flow. Good catch.
So this stays here, right? The success
Yeah.
message?
Mhm.
Okay,
And then
so-
in the run flow,
Oh.
you'll need to go select the
all
action.
right. So,
That's correct. And
Oh,
then
that's
you'll just
correct.
need the system message show in the action. There you go. And then that should do it.
let's test this out real quick.
You might have to refresh.
Oh, okay.
When you do things like adding a new action to the page, sometimes it doesn't pick it up. So you have to just refresh to kind of like get it
Mhm.
there. Other stuff gets picked up.
Yeah, I think it's when you add like a whole new flow, like it'll pick up the actions inside of it, but not a new flow. Still not.
No, it's not showing.
Did you move the right thing when you did that set property? I noticed we selected the message. Is the whole div supposed to move or just the message?
Oh, good
Should make sense.
catch. Yeah,
Which-
it's the
That
div.
might be what it is.
Yeah,
Oh, so go back to like show and hide here.
yeah.
And choose
So
the div.
no, that one's
Not
correct.
here. This one's
Oh.
good.
The second one,
Second
the
one.
second action.
I
No,
believe
in
see you on
here,
this one.
step 2 in that flow,
On the right hand side.
Oh,
that
Yeah.
one.
oh, there's no element.
Oh, it didn't even set. That's weird.
Yeah, and you want the div, not the message,
Oh, okay,
because you
I
want to
think
move
that's what you
from
want.
flow.
We actually don't know for sure, but I think that's probably what you want the outer div.
okay.
Yeah,
Can you click off that and click back to it?
Yeah, make sure that's saved because that was weird that wasn't in there.
Okay.
Oh, that
That's
one's in there,
saved, and
div.
then this one is gone, so I gotta choose
Yeah.
div, right?
it should be
Yeah.
div.
It's weird.
Yeah, because you're
Just-
moving the whole thing.
All right, there you go. I was like,
No,
now
it
it's
should-
gonna work.
We believe.
That's what we say every time.
I believe.
That's what I hope every time. Like, I hope this works. And when it works, I'm like, yay! I did it.
If this doesn't work, and I can jump into your project after,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
fairly certain I can figure it out pretty quickly, just with a few clicks.
Yay!
Yeah.
It worked.
It
Thank
did.
you. I
Yes.
won't take up too much time. That's all I need because
That's
I
a-
can use it for other projects. Thank you.
That's a better
Thank-
success message than I've ever done.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Anna. And if we have time, we can come back to your second question too. I just want to make sure we
Okay.
get on. Cora would yell at me if I was letting us go so long. Simon, you're up next. Stage is yours.
Is
That's
that me?
Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Oh, Emmanuel?
Yeah,
Sorry.
you probably see that's UL Simon. on
I see.
the-
Oh, yeah. I just see Simon. That's the easily discernible
Sure.
in the Discord.
All right, let me see.
Is it
Is that sure? Not yet. Share.
There you go.
Okay, great. All right. Quick context. Let me start with what I'm trying to get after. So I have this like a card-based note application I'm trying to build. And what I'm trying to do, so this is an existing one. You go in and it loads up the different cards for different rows or different sections. It takes a little while. And I'm in South Africa, so I assume that's why it takes so long to load up, at least the first time. There you go. All right, so once it's loaded up, everything is in there, and I can always add new blocks and type in and all that kind of stuff. Great. What I'm trying to solve for is if I create a new page, which is called, each one of these are called blockies, and within them are the blocks. When I create a new one, what happens is I enter the stuff here, then a new blocky, and when I save it, it creates the new block, then a new blocky. But when I go in, I need to get an initial row in place so I can add other things on. And the way that I think it would have been set up is once I click update blocking, it creates that in the data collection. It needs to somehow create a row and that first block as part of that. If that makes sense, it would essentially be creating a new one of these.
Yeah.
And one of these.
Yeah, exactly. So like in that same flow where you're creating the new record for the parent, which is the blocky.
Yeah.
Right after it, you basically need to create another record, but this time for the section. And you'll need to have weights between them because I'm assuming there's a relationship, right, between them. So you'll need to get the new record ID from the parent blocky that you created and set it into the new record for the section. And I think there was another level, right? The row, is that the next
The
level?
row, right. But
Yeah.
I think to create the section does both it has the row built in.
Oh, you already do it. Perfect.
Right. So when we create a section, it automatically creates a row. So I think it's just about creating the section when the blocky is done.
Yeah.
Create, okay, this one here. So what I have is it's creating the data record, the record in the data collection.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess you're saying I need to do a wait here.
Mm-hmm.
And what I tried to do was then trigger create the new section.
Yeah, go in there. I want to see.
So here.
So it does already have, I see. So the blocky gets created as soon as the user clicks the plus on the side, right?
Right.
So at this point, it's just, you're just updating the details that slid in from the right panel. And then at that point is where the sections need to be created. I
I would think it's a matter of using new record ID instead, right? Like what you're probably gonna say originally, just create a separate one to add that, or no?
Well, the record already exists because he's at this point, it's doing an update to the blocking.
Oh, I see, I missed that.
Yeah. Scroll up, like where are you getting the ID for the update?
For the, I think I'm not actually, it's creating it when it updates and it's not there.
So if you have no idea.
I see. Okay, and that's why we don't have a variable. Okay, so we need to change that to a new record action, this first one, so it doesn't get created initially. It's just the update is creating it because we're not specifying an ID, so it assumes it's a new record, and that's why it works.
Okay,
But we'll need to replace it because we actually need to get that
The ID.
the ID, and that
ID.
only gets set.
create record, is it this one?
Yeah, do that one. And then drag it above that update. We're gonna replace the update with that one.
Yeah.
But let's copy all the settings. So
Is there easy to do
it'll
that?
be the same collection. So let's go select blockies. You have to manually fill it out.
Yeah, when he says copy,
Oh.
he just means like manually go fill it out.
Gotcha, gotcha.
No, it'd be nice.
All right, let me just,
Sufficient.
That makes sense.
no, that didn't work. All right, sorry. All right, create some blocking. I'm trying to see if I can,
Yeah, I remember this one. It's been a while since we looked at this
Yeah.
project.
August. Okay. All right, so then it was title, current page, blocky title. Okay, all right, I can work through it.
Everyone watching.
And then value, yeah.
Yeah, it looks correct. So yeah, you can come back and map the other fields.
rest.
So copy that new record ID value there, because that's
Yeah.
what we'll need on the.
This
And
one.
then you'll probably need to move that update record, or if you took a screenshot, you could delete it.
That
that
blocky
will,
title is not the input field now, isn't it? It's the text field. Do you see?
Where?
oh, the element.
Right.
think-
Yeah, where your mouse is now. It's a
Yeah,
text.
click in there, and it looks like, well, he could use if. Oh yeah, you want the input.
Right,
Good catch.
good catch, yeah.
Nice. And you'll probably want to remove that because it's going to create duplicate records. Yeah.
Delete it, okay.
Okay, so wait's there. Let's go into the section now. And scroll down. So right here, that blocky ID right here,
Mhm.
where right now you have it from a variable, which is correct. You need to change that to current page because we're still on the same page. No. That's correct. The drop down, it says parent page right now. Yeah, change that to current and then paste the variable you have there. Exactly. And
That should do it for you.
that's it. That
You'll have to
should
fill
do
out the rest of those fields in the other action,
Sure.
but it's like when you use that create record action, it gives you a variable of the record ID that you just created. That was the key that you weren't getting from the other action.
Done it before.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So new blocky.
Those won't save anyways, but yeah. And then let's open it. I think it was the other one, right? New try.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right. That was the wrong one. Let me try. Ah, yes, awesome. All right. I can take it from there. Terrific.
Yeah. And the same concept, if you need to like create things further, you just have to make
Right.
sure you have the weights and you need the new record so you get the variable.
Okay, perfect. So that's why you need to use the create instead of the update.
Yeah, yeah.
Got it. Okay, terrific. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. And thanks, Emmanuel. Sorry for calling you Simon. Jan, Jan's up next. You need help with a grid list sorting issue.
Yeah, that's right.
Let's sort it out.
Okay, so here's my app, and I show all the podcasts here, and I have sort functions, for example, for name. And if I click that, at the beginning it's okay, but if I scroll down, I have here the old ones. So actually, it's only added some podcasts in the name order to the other ones here. And what I actually did is I have the flow sort, and I have the set a value. And actually, I would like to set a new grid list here with the sort for the podcast name for all the podcasts. Yeah. So why is it not?
Can we look at in the data collections and just validate the data? Like there's no spaces that could be throwing it off, and confirm that that field is the field with the data. Because this should work, right? Like,
Yeah, it
do
looks
you
like
see
it would work.
anything?
I can't imagine what's happening. So yeah, if you go into your data collections, that's what he's saying, and we'll look at the podcast data collection,
Okay.
and then I think it was called podcast name.
Yeah, that's second
Yeah.
to last there.
Basically, just see if there's like spaces in the beginning or anything strange. I guess I don't even know specifically what.
From the one.
Like where does it breaks here, right? Wonder if I has to let me ask you a question. When on that grid, is
Yeah.
it set to limit how many
Yeah, it should-
items?
Yeah.
Does it break when it loads
First
the
one
next
more.
set?
I think so. Oh, now we can scroll. Maybe because it's loading here.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Huge.
give it a second. Because I'm wondering maybe there's a bug with the show more on scroll. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I limited to 20 so that it loads faster because yeah, when I click this button, it's a while.
Can we
Yes.
turn that off just to test? That way we can see if that's what's causing the sort to not work. Yeah, go ahead and close out of that.
I think it's frozen on him.
Oh yeah.
Give it a second.
I think it might work now.
No.
Maybe.
I think it's just those records or something. I just checked builder.com and it's fine and working. It's not.
Yeah, I had refreshed over here too to see, but there's no, I guess there wouldn't be any breakpoints or that just has to pause.
Should I refresh? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. I don't know why it's.
It's having a hard time refreshing.
Yeah, it's like something's got stuck. 'Cause there's not that many records. It's like a little over 500.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would get unstuck if you open it in a new tab. I think if you waited, it would come back in a little bit. But I think if you just try to open a new tab, it'll probably load very quickly. You might have to
You
close.
can also try like stop sharing your screen. Like sometimes that just takes so much bandwidth. Yeah. Or processing power, I guess what it is, but.
think this one will load it up. You can close that other tab. See, it's still loading. It's just like draining your resources. You might as well close it out.
Yeah, and let's go to that grid.
Okay.
Yeah, and the properties.
I hit the podcast card, and yeah, I have the rows to display 20.
Yeah, clear that out just so we can test to see if that's what's causing it. And then let's go refresh the preview.
Yeah, it's on the menu.
Yep.
Okay, so that's on, and then I yeah, make name.
Sorted by the name.
So the hashtag first, the numbers A,
Mm-hmm.
B. Okay, now
That's it.
it's, yeah. C, D.
Interesting.
Yeah, now it looks better.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think.
I think like I think it's probably a bug technically, or it's maybe like something really weird. If it's not a bug, something strange. But one thing you can do is we have a path where you can sort. So it might have to be something where like every time it, well, actually, can you trigger? Yeah, there's a way to trigger a flow when it loads more results in. You might have to like do a manual sort with a path. What do you think, Dorian?
I'm trying to think like
Should
why
I-
it would cause it.
Blank, and I tried the auto show more as well. Does it help me to load it first and then show more again? I tried it before,
Well,
but
the auto show more will only work if there's rows limited to display.
okay.
Yeah, I think this one will have to have one of our devs take a look at it. Because that I had a feeling that was probably what was causing it, just based on, because I noticed the things popped in after. I was like, trying to think why though.
You could, yeah, it's tough because like you're switching the sort because there is a sort, there's a field for order down there. I bet like selecting that would fix it, but you wouldn't be able to control that with a drop down. It's kind of like a tricky, weird.
Let's try this, or like put 20 back in there.
Okay.
And then scroll up on this. Higher. Okay, so that's all good. And then go to the flow where we're setting it based on the name.
Sort name.
Yeah. And then it's just the valley. The issue is that it's not fully replacing it because the data's already there. We can solve it by removing the diff key on the grid. Go back to the grid properties.
Okay.
And then this scenario, we actually don't want, see that diff key value right now, it says ID. It's like the third argument there.
This one.
Yeah, clear that out. And then let's go try it again.
Okay.
Okay, so right now it's just the 20, then there's the show more, yeah. Okay. And now keep loading the rest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's what's
A.
happening. Like,
Okay.
because it doesn't reset the whole data for speed purposes,
Yeah. Okay.
But in your scenario, because you actually need the data to be reset in a different sort method, we don't want it to do a merge. We just want it to do a replace every time.
Okay.
And
So
that's
that's what
what
the
we're-
diff queue was. If that's not clear, like if you have ID in there, it'll merge because it can match based on the ID. So it only updates what it needs to. If you have nothing in there, it's going to replace the whole thing every time because it has no way of knowing what else is going on.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, then it's working here. And yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. And so next we have Maine, who has some help that she needs for Stripe and in using that inside of Builder. And I know Drew and Maine, I think, have been going back and forth a little bit. So hopefully we can figure something out today.
Yeah, hi guys. Yeah, I can't figure it out. Basically, I need to I need to give people access to this customer portal, and there is a action for that. And when I try to use that action, I'm getting an error as if I'm not sending them the customer number or customer ID. But I have actually made the flows that are tied to the builder user. Anyway, let me show you how I'm trying to send them to customer. Well, how I'm using this action. So basically, there are only two things. There's my Stripe key. This is the link that I found here.
Oh, I see. The return URL should be the URL for their project.
Just to be careful, I'm going to stop the.
Nice.
Thanks, Ann. So Crack, I don't know if you're talking. We can't hear you. You are there.
Hello?
We go.
Can you
There
hear
we
me?
go. Yep.
Yep.
All right, cool. So I just wanted to basically go over this real quick. Like, I wanted to add in a carousel to this section here, right, for the videos. And I think, like, I think Josh mentioned to me using the libraries for like jQuery and stuff. So I just kind of wanted to use like the owl carousel in this. It's kind of good to know. It kind of like brings up like the website, using the library or using other stuff. So let me go into here. I just can't get it to work though. This one in particular. So I don't know if you guys just want to like, maybe if you guys could just do a quick and dirty for me, like installing this particular one in like a brand new like thing, and then I could just watch this again. You know what I mean? Just copy this in.
I'm guessing what's going to happen is like you're using a jQuery library, and jQuery is like a library on top of what Builder already is. So you have to make sure you include jQuery first and then this library. I'm guessing there's going to be a problem in there, like maybe you're not including the full jQuery or something like that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
If you look up it there, right? Like if you look at the scripts, the first one is jQuery.
Yeah, but it's not. That's not real. That's not coming from Builder, right? Like that path's not a Builder path or anything. You know what I mean? It wouldn't work.
Well, no,
just
we
like
need to
that.
go look at the headers, but as long
Alright,
as you're
so
putting those in the headers, that should bring it in.
Okay, so for that, I just put it in here, right? Like straight up here, and then I put it in just like this.
Yeah, the reason there is those href paths. They need to be the full path to the URL. So I don't know if you can add onto those and they'll work, or what that URL actually is.
So just this then?
I don't see.
No, these are just the themes. Like he'll need the scripts also.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Yeah, that's just the CSS. Yeah.
That's just CSS, but the CSS, like that's not is that a valid URL? No.
It's like their relative URL. There's probably, you have to put their website in front of it, I bet, or something like that, but I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Do you have the
Uh,
page, the documentation for the owl carousel? Do you have that page handy by any chance?
This is it right here. Can you see this?
Oh,
We-
no, I look, oh, there you go, there you go, there
There
you go.
we go.
Sorry. Yeah, they wrote it like in their own, like relative to their site, I guess. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, it's like if it was relative.
That's really weird. It's like, are you building on our site?
Well, maybe that's what they're
Oh,
expecting. I don't know.
Okay.
That honestly
So how
happens
would
a
I? How
lot.
would?
So,
So
yeah.
we need to grab just the URL in front of this. Is that?
It
That
depends. Like they
or-
might have it in a folder or something. We don't know for sure. We could try that though if you wanted.
I would have
Like, I
gone
just
like the CDN path, right?
Yeah.
Like, do they provide one?
Uh,
Yeah, if you scroll down, what else is down below where you are right now? Because we're gonna need a little bit more like this. The JS, like these includes we're gonna need that you just showed for a second, and
This one here.
then yeah, like we'll need those as well as the other two, but we'll
this
need to
here.
change them all. I think you could just Google.
I just dropped a link to
Perfect.
ENJS OWL Carousel 2 libraries.
So if you see that in the chat, what Josh just pasted, basically you're gonna use. Actually, what does that give you? All of them, you think? What is that? Do you know what that specific link is?
There's just a bunch of links here. So you're
Oh, gotcha.
choosing one, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, you can see what they are. You can see carousel.min.css and owl.theme.default.css. So you basically have to find the ones you're using and then use these full URLs instead. Does that make sense?
Okay. So basically, this I can't use this website installation guide.
Well, once you get past this step, if you get these URLs right, then yeah, you can use everything else in the installation guide. For some reason,
Okay,
they
so-
just like gave you weird paths. Honestly, like I've seen it happen like so many times.
Yeah.
People just do that in their docs. I don't really know why. So that's
Okay.
all that's going on. But once you get these URLs right and it pulls in the libraries, the rest of the documentation you just copy paste.
Okay. So just for general knowledge. So every time I have to add in the CDN goes into the headers right here, and it needs to be this type of path for
Yeah.
the library, correct?
Yeah, unless there is a way if it's not that path, but you would have to like upload the library to your builder project and reference it through there. Which if you're not doing that, then yes, it has to be that full URL.
Okay. So does it have to be these two?
So it has to be those two that you have and
These two here?
the
Okay.
two below it. So yeah, you're looking at
These two as
owl.carousel.min and owl.theme.default, and then owl.carousel.min.js. You need all four of those. And you're gonna have to do
so it
something
says here-
special to get jQuery. Sorry.
No. Let's go. So it says include this into the footer. So I think okay. So let me just.
Oh yeah,
add
just do
in-
that. You just do that in the header. Don't worry about the footer for that one.
Oh, so I can just put it all into the header then.
Yeah,
Here.
yeah, and all in the same one too.
Yeah. Like you can copy those two lines and paste them in that header you already have. And you can do that right now if you want to just have it all in one place. And then we can go update the little URLs.
So just put it in here, like one line.
I'm not sure because I can't see your other screen. I'm looking at the docs right now. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Oh no, not
No.
that part yet. Yeah, sorry. You can you undo and go back to what you had, or you don't have, if you can't, it's no big deal. We'll go copy it. So yeah, keep those two in there and then go back to the docs. Don't go to the full links yet. Just go to the docs first.
Okay.
And I can't see if your screen if you're on it, but copy the other two links. One will be to jQuery and one will be to a JS file.
Okay, the script then, right?
Yeah. Perfect.
Exactly. That's perfect.
And so now what you're going to do is you're going to keep everything you have there. You're going to keep, but you're only going to update the URLs. So in the top ones, it's href equals and there's a URL. And in the bottom ones, it's src equals and URL. All you're going to replace is the actual URL. So for the first one, it's called owl.carousel.min.css. You go to that CDN page and find that exact one, owl.carousel.min.css.
Just take it from the quotes, just like replace it right here.
Yep.
Okay.
Perfect. And then, yeah, the other one's called owl.theme.default. So you have to find that one.
Okay. All right. That should be
And there's an
correct.
extra S on the end of that you didn't delete. See how it says CSSSS or SSS?
Perfect.
Yep. And then I would skip jQuery for 1 second. So skip jQuery.min, and the last one is called owl.carousel.min.js. Find that one.
Also, I have to put this in, change this one out with the CDN as well.
Yep.
Okay, so owl.carousel.min.js. I did not know you had to do all this.
It's just like a tricky thing in the beginning. Like sometimes when you go to the docs, it's like correct for you. You just copy paste. This one just wasn't.
Okay. So I did that.
Okay, and then I'm gonna paste in what I think is a jQuery CDN link into the chat.
Just take the URL and then put it in.
And you put it in instead of where it says jQuery.min.js. Yeah, you use that URL I sent you. Like
Okay.
that. So now the header should be correct. I mean, I'm not sure if like maybe it's a wrong version of jQuery. You might run into something, but that header will pull in the CSS for the styles and pull in jQuery and then pull in the carousel JavaScript. And then from there you can follow the docs and everything else should work as it does in the docs.
Okay, so as far as like setting the classes, how would I do that? Just straight up in the JSON?
You need to add the class al carousel. Is that how it works?
So I think so.
Because yeah, you can set it in the JSON, or there's a field on the styles panel that's called external class names. You can type in that whatever you can type in al-carousel right into the external class names. You don't even have to go in the JSON.
Okay, so let me just share. So I go into here, style. Is it properties or styling? Or just type
Styling for
Styling.
this, and then yeah, see that bottom one. But you're gonna do the al carousel was on the container that holds them all. So I actually think you want to put that on columns 4.
Okay.
And
Then
yeah,
just
type it in.
owl.
I think it was
Carousel.
al-carousel, but I'm not totally sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It has to be exact, whatever they have in their docs.
Does it have to be in the quotations?
No.
Mm-mm.
All right. Just exactly like that. I don't have to put class equals.
Nope, just like that. That's gonna like add it in. Like, see how it has columns and columns 4 above it. It's Builder will just put those all together in the correct format. You don't have to worry about any of it.
Okay, cool. All right. Let me just check the docs again. It says okay. So now it says to.
And then the function
Okay, so
to initialize it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, function. So I would just use.
So just copy all that JavaScript in there. Those 3 lines.
Uh-huh.
And then what you can do is if you go back to Builder, there's an element that's called code block, or there's a function that's called run JavaScript function. You can kind of do it in either way. But if you already have a code block, just go to
Easier, yeah.
properties.
Okay.
And then paste in what you just copied. And you're already set to script on the tag, so it should be good to go.
So
And
I don't need to alter anything in here.
Nope.
No, just make
Yeah.
sure to
Make
save.
sure save changes before you go out of it. Yep.
Save changes. Let me just check if I have a flow on the bindings. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that should be it then, huh?
Should be. With all this, we'll see, but that's not it.
Oh,
No, I don't know if we just broke it with that JavaScript, maybe.
maybe I'm set to the wrong one. All
Well,
right.
you just previewed from that one. That shouldn't have.
There's
Uh,
that route is tied to that page. Like it's not tied to a deleted page or something like that.
Yeah, or maybe
Yeah.
you have a not authenticated type thing, maybe.
yeah. What the hell? Sorry, everything's all changed around now. Wait. Frick. URL, right? Route.
I can't see what you're looking at, but if you need help, let us know.
Okay.
Yeah, open that one. the pages. Yeah.
Shit. Damn, how would I?
Just if you drop that down, yeah, will you be able to see it in that list? Drop down unauthenticated there. Or is it
You
first?
You see it?
No, we don't see the menu, but
It's in the new workstation. That's why. So I don't know what I named it.
Oh yeah, go check the name.
Carousel. Right. Shit.
Isn't it that page that's in front
You
of us
just,
right
need,
there?
you just need to hover over that page, whatever that page is called that we just worked on is what you should be looking for. Yeah, in the middle of the
Carousel.
screen.
Okay.
No,
So
not the workspace. What's the page right here called in the middle?
oh, this one, new page.
No,
um,
that one.
oh, it is new.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's the page that you should be targeting for that.
There you go.
Okay. All right, here we go. This is it. Here we go. Oh, I think this is it. Yeah.
I see some stuff. I don't know. It looks like the styles might not have come in.
Styling is not there, but
Yeah.
Honestly,
But the JavaScript
this
looks like it
is-
worked.
Yeah, that's like the most important thing to me, I think, because the styling is whatever. But yeah, okay. Thank you for this. I appreciate this because this can lead into a lot more other CDN stuff. And
Yeah, you'll probably have to do that again. Look up CDN links like that. That's kind of common.
There's
yeah,
another
because
one.
Oh,
Go ahead. No, you're good.
No, because I was looking up the CDNs in the beginning, and I was like, I came across this site, but I was like, oh, this is like super weird because it's totally different from the docs, right? The actual like website one. So I wasn't sure like how to use this, but
Yeah.
I guess this is kind of like the best site to use for builder stuff, or connections at least, right?
Yeah, like if you need to find a CDN link, that's definitely like they basically their whole point of that site is to go to all the different libraries and create these CDN links. So it's pretty reliable.
Okay, cool. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Josh?
I was just gonna say Drew did a holiday builder hour like in the middle of December, and he incorporated a CDN library in that, and it was another good example of CDN libraries not working always as descripted and having to kind of work through a couple of bugs. But that was a good example because he showed how like what bugs came up and how to go find the answers for what you're looking for. So just
Cool.
another
Yeah. If I'm probably gonna go check that out. If you could link that to me, and then I can check it out later.
Yeah,
But yeah.
I'll try to find it now. It's literally like the holiday hours. It was me and Drew, I believe, on it.
Is that your guys' build? Like you guys did the build sessions?
Yes.
I don't know if it's on
office hours, right?
yet. Yeah.
It was that one in particular wasn't in office hours.
Gotcha.
I have no idea where that is. Yeah, it's on YouTube. I guess. Right?
It's definitely on YouTube. I'll find it.
Cool.
With that, I think
thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, enjoyed it. And we'll see everybody next week.
Thanks, everybody.
You guys.
Bye, guys.